Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel by Chris. I finally got Spencer Burnett on here. We've dropped your name on this channel.
Oh, yeah?
Probably, I think there's 7 episodes out, and I think there were 7 mentions of you. So glad to finally have you here. And I don't even know what we're going to talk about. What's even on your mind right now?
Oh, man. I mean, there seems to be a wave of people talking about raising the vibration of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I've been talking about since like 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started kind of feeling this mission, it was quite lonely
Mm-hmm.
at the time. And even in speaking with your friend Jody
Mm-hmm.
and asking her, like, what is it that you're here to do? And spoke about her magic and for the sake of raising the vibration
Mm-hmm.
of the planet. So I think that there is truly, and I mean this by its purest definition, like an awakening happening.
I'd agree with that, and I'm glad you brought that up. See, that's why I never like to come in with a game plan, because I think when I first met you, you were the one of the first key people I met here in Austin, Texas, and I never give people my phone, and I'm like, put my number in your phone, right? And then came over for a brain jam at your house, which is probably like the dopest co-working community in Austin, Texas, that you even started in what, June?
Yeah,
Dude. And then came into your house, and it was just like, here's my house. And I couldn't afford WeWork at the time. I didn't want to. Like, all this co-working was falling flat for me. And then met you at a dinner, and it was like, here's my house. Come jam. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. And then I haven't stopped coming every week. It's been insane. And it's like, let's talk about that aspect too, of raising the vibration, like the community that we were, co-working today. It's like Jim comes out of town from New York. People just come in town whenever they're there. And it's like, we're one big family, but there's no competition. It's all collaboration. And it's taking the smartest people in the room and putting them together as resources rather than, it's me versus you. It's like, how can we change the world and raise the vibration together?
Yeah, and what's really changed about my perception of raising the vibration of the planet is years ago, I thought of it more so of raising the vibration of the planet itself. And then it became more so of like different nodes of the planet. And the way that I saw it is like imagine this kind of like latex sheath over the earth. And you're to kind of like take a pole and prop it up like a circus tent, right? Mm-hmm. And so you've got the sheath, and then the pole pokes up the tent, and now all of a sudden where that sheath is on the top, as you raise it up 5 feet, this amount of people can all of a sudden see, right? And now you raise it up 10 feet. Now this many people can see, and you keep going and keep going until the latex bursts, boom, and then everyone can see.
Yeah.
Right. And that is still the way that I perceive like the big picture, but the way of going about it has I've really shifted the perspective, because when it comes to personal development and growth and ascension, it starts with you. Mm-hmm. It starts within, and you're raising the vibration of yourself, and then within your family, and then of your community, and starting out small.
Yeah.
And I think that this is where a lot of the world, especially in the United States, has got it wrong. Is everyone's so concerned about international affairs and divide of the nation. And really, if you take a look at the way that things are designed, it's local government actually has jurisdiction over the law, over the overall government. Mm-hmm. And so it's like you got to start with your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I think that is where it's heading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that today too. You're like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we all bought up this neighborhood?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's even my intention leaving there today. I was like, how can I buy one of these houses around this neighborhood? And I already know which one I want to buy, but it's like, it's cool because it's like, what's the song? Matthew Decay, The 4 Agreements. It's 7 minutes long. It talks about life. And it's like, a person has friends, that creates a community, that creates a city, that creates a state, and they all have a common interest, and then a nation and so forth. And it's like, yeah, if you want to change the world, I even think like the simplest way is like it starts with you and then your collective and then your community and it scales up.
Right. And people are too worried about the society that is so far away from them, the nation, when they haven't even sorted themselves out.
Yeah.
And that keeps you just confused and angry.
Yeah, it's kind of like the healers who endlessly help everybody else but themselves to avoid
Yeah.
themselves. It's like, oh no, there's a problem over there, and it's like, well, you got problems in your own life. Why are you pointing the finger? Like, solve yours.
Yeah. So I've actually focused less on big picture thinking and more on really like the intimacy of problem solving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are you implementing that into the current model of execute? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I moved here from Costa Rica because there wasn't that community. So I still consider Costa Rica my home. And I came here to Austin to find the others and to continue my ministry out here, to have that community effect. So, and the plan is to have that effect and make it wider and wider, and then to go back to Costa Rica and start building that there and bringing the others that I find in this community to that. But the approach that I had before is like I lived there, which was like the big picture thinking, and then I would just travel to different states, different cities, but not enough to hold roots. And so the approach that I'm taking now is I open up my home once a week to those that are seeking, those that are curious, those that are actually doing some real shit in this world to make it a better place. And it doesn't always have to be like such a noble feeding the poor or serving the needy or the lame. It can be doing good shit in this world in terms of just like perpetuating creativity.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, even like everybody who's in Brain Jam, for instance, like we're all our own genius, right? And it's like if you feed a genius can feed 100,000 other people. It's like infinite versus like any other aspect of that. But it's like even to a degree, you mentioned something about a node. And this Monstero over here reminds me of it. And it's like you've created your own node here in Austin, but something that I've like learned from you, I kind of watched you, and then I was like, how can I do that? And then my offer this year actually was like, I'm going to create a node off of this and start another part of the community through my friends and my network.
Yeah, and the approach that I have is that there's two ways to kind of go about it. I can either one, try to build a following, 1 million YouTube subscribers and TikTok followers and stuff like that, or I can influence those that have influence.
Yep.
That is what scales. There's not as much notoriety behind it because I don't have 1 million YouTube subscribers, and that's not the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is to scale wisdom, integrity in Christ consciousness. And so if I can help those that are making big moves align themselves so their message is clear and has a reduction or elimination of noise or static by cleaning up their integrity, cleaning up their integrity, not me. And then from there we amplify the voice. Well, amplifying my own voice times 100 is not as powerful as if I help 10 people amplify their voice by 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and to even just reflect that back, that's what you did. I feel like I was one of those 10 with you because it's like now I got a community of 12 that I'm doing the exact thing because my goal is to create 1 million millionaires. If I create 12, they're going to learn the recipe and create 12 more, and it's a ripple effect,
it's a spiritual pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it's actually a reverse pyramid is what I call it. It's like it's just everybody feeds on the same, and there's nobody making more at the top. It's like everybody's in this ecosystem, sharing what they have with everybody, but everybody's benefiting from everybody's profits as well.
Right. Well, when you say making 1 million millionaires, so you directly make 10 millionaires, and then if to get to 1 million, well, it's like, well, I've got 999,900, left. It's like, or those 10 create 10, and those and that's like kind of
exponential growth. Yeah,
what I mean by the pyramid scheme. So it's looking at the strategy from a place of like mathematical leverage and not of ego. Because if it was ego, it would be like, I want 100 million followers, and that's just like not the point.
No, exactly. It's kind of like reverse the numbers. Like Andrew Crozy said on this podcast, it's like you don't need 1 million followers anymore. You need 10 really good people, and you can make a ton of money, and you can make them a lot of money too. And it's incredible to see that philosophy, because everybody's chasing 1 million views, 1 million followers, 1 million everything, when it's like you got 10 people around you. Everybody has 10 people in their network that are very valuable to them. Like, start to leverage your connections and also leverage their talents all in one instead of competing with one another.
Yeah, and I would much rather take the approach of high quality raving fans rather than a wide audience of people that are familiar with you.
Yeah,
you know,
100%. So with all this in mind, with the community and stuff, what is your ethos in everything you teach? I love this, and I can tee it up for you, but I'd rather hear you say it. Of just like, what did you teach me and everybody in Execute with your model of business?
Well, I mean, the at its core is that the fundamental indicator of success and performance is integrity. Your intentions, your commitments, and your actions all being the same thing. And so everything that the Execute system and like the ecosystem is built around is essentially an integrity tracking machine. So as it pertains to your calendar, it's not just an appointment book, is what it is. It's an attention management system that can track the integrity of your intentions, your commitments, and your actions. Every time you put something on the calendar, it is a commitment.
Yep.
And then when you follow through with it, it stays on the calendar. If not, you have to take it out. So then the record of your calendar really becomes a ledger of your attention. And at that point, you're able to actually truly see what your value system is. Because I don't give a fuck what you say your values are.
Yeah.
You value that of which you give attention to.
Yep.
End of story.
And I would say that's been the biggest impact I think I learned from you, besides simplicity is the other word, is like simplicity of the task list was insane. But then understanding how to dump my brain all in one place was huge. So I didn't have to think anymore. I was holding this many thoughts, and then one day was like, whoa, where'd they go? But then understanding like kind of Steve Jobs 80-20 is like, pick 3 tasks every day. That's kind of my calendar based on my energy. But it's like, all right, what's the most important? Which one, moves the needle? Do I need money now? Am I working on my personal brand? And there's so many different aspects, but it's like a Google Sheet and a calendar forever changed my life. And it's even on that, it's more of a pain in the ass to move it around than it is just to do it sometimes,
Right. And that's what the core of the execution engine is one calendar, one document, one spreadsheet. The calendar tracks your attention, the document tracks your thoughts, and the spreadsheet tracks your intentions. Yeah. Right. The task list, is your intentions, and that's all that you need. And the thing is like everyone's trying to like over infrastructure their technology because they want technology to play a role so they can be essentially lazy.
Yeah.
I want to make money and not work. Well, that is theft.
Yeah,
it is. As opposed to using technology as an extension of your consciousness for your efforts to be more leveraged. Yeah. And that's why people get frustrated with the way that they use technology, and that's why they get stuck in all of the bullshit, ClickUps and Mondays and N8Ns and stuff like that. Yeah. I've been able to scale businesses with like almost no automations. Yep. Because my efforts are so leveraged. I'm able to run upwards to 7, 8, or 9 companies without an assistant, because the way that without an assistant, without any automations, without anything, just because I'm efficient, I'm leveraged, and my mind is able to focus on its simplicity, because the complexity has been documented in the technology as an extension of my mind.
Yeah. And even with that being said, I love how, I think it was on your Notion when I was on your team for that, or the content folder we made, is the brain. And I'm like, all this is an external brain. When you use technology right, it just sets as an external brain there. And then you can actually use your brain for the simplicity task, and this holding all the complexity on the back end. And then the task list, or even checking stuff off the task list, dude, it's like a dopamine hit.
Totally.
I can't be lazy. I think I texted you that probably the second week in on it. It's like, dude, I just got so much dopamine, and it's like high level dopamine. It's not the cheap shit. From just clicking a box on stuff that I needed to get done and doing it and putting it on the calendar and following through with it.
I mean, that's the way that, your Candy Crushes and your, whatever other stupid games is like. You're pressing buttons and getting satisfaction.
Yep.
But the difference is that there's no substance, or there's nothing meaningful in terms of consequence of pressing those buttons. Oh, you got a few more tokens, or candy hearts, or whatever the fuck that they do. Whereas when you check boxes, it actually means something.
Yeah.
It means that you post another great piece of content. It means that you had another meaningful conversation. It means that you created a new training or a new offer. Something that is of substance and has meaning to more than just the satisfaction of seeing the 4 pieces of candy explode is when you press the button.
Yeah, and getting the fake money at the end. It's like, all right, there it is. There's the tokens that I can't spend in reality, but it's like, I worked hard for that, and I'm going to keep showing up, versus like, sit down at your desk, find some homies, jam out, get some stuff done, create an impact in the world, raise the vibration, and help yourself and everybody out along the way,
Yeah, and it's designed to be fun. I really believe that we are constantly trying to relive the most joyful moments of our childhood, and so for those that are just trying to hack this system to get what they want without having to work, they're probably spoiled children, where that's what it was. It was like, wow, my parents did everything, and that's what they're trying to recreate. For me, like Brain Jam is no different than the club that I had when I was 8 years old called Gross.
Yeah, I remember that document.
It's exactly the same. I created a club where we set up various money making schemes in order for us to pool that, or to rev share the money that we created to put into a pool. And what did we do with that money? We created we built clubhouses, and we threw parties. That is no different than what I'm doing right now. I like my clubhouse is on Cardinal Lane. You know what I mean? And the parties are like the Vision Party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it collected everyone's it collected everybody's money, and then it took 10 grand and threw just a bomb ass medicine journey.
Yeah, let's talk about more of the fun stuff too, because I think this is the most fun thing about being around you, is like between Brain Jam, Pickle Jam, and Vision Party.
Yeah.
3 of the simplest but coolest things I've done in probably 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's talk about pickleball real quick. Like just going out and playing pickleball and talking business. I don't know if we even talked about anything else the other day, but we played pickleball for an hour and a half and talked business?
Yeah, and pretended to keep score?
Yeah. We were like, what's the score?
Yeah.
And he was like,
6-4.
5-3.
Yeah, yep, that sounds good.
And we were like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Just keep playing.
Yeah, it's just stepping out and playing games, and that's been something that over the past few years, like when I really got into business and business kind of like took over for the sake of money, and not completely took over, but took more market share in my mind, in my priorities. And forgot like why are we really doing this? Like what do you really want to do?
Yeah.
And I ask the question all the time, like if you had $1 trillion, $1,000 billion, like what would you be doing? And I would be playing pickleball
Yeah.
with my homie on a Wednesday. I would be shooting content on a Friday night with my homie. I would, I had this conversation in Precise Language Live, the other day with someone on there, and they were talking about value, and they were saying, I have a hard time seeing value past, things that are monetary, and I found that interesting, and I'm like, well, what would you? And he was talking about wanting, wanting to earn the money to
Pain and suffering.
to support his lifestyle, and I'm like, well, the idea that you have to earn the money, would you do that if you already had the money? The answer is no. It's
Yeah.
like, well, then can you see why maybe why you have that resistance? And then my next question was, if you had the money that you want, what would you do to provide value to others? And he was like, nothing. I said, interesting.
That's why you don't have it.
So if God created this simulation, this experience, and he's like, okay, the goal of this is this brand of creature, humans, their goal is to contribute to others so that the outcome is greater than the sum of the individual parts.
Mhm.
Okay, and that so basically to be of service. Okay, if that's the goal, and then God knows that, well, if I give this guy what he wants, he's going to stop serving. Well, then could you see why God's not giving you what you want?
Yeah, that's a negative feedback loop.
Right.
I think we had a similar conversation about this too, because I was like, man, Spencer, I want to make a lot of money. And it was like, at the time I was thinking like cars, house, and all this stuff. And then as soon as I flipped it and I was like, I want to create impact in the world. I want to make 1 million millionaires and all this other stuff. And then it was like, the vision started attracting instantly because like you said, it was like, it wasn't about me anymore. It's like, well, through me, I can help others. So then I get rewarded. But if I create with others, then more shows up. And the more I can impact, the more shows up. And it's like, you see billionaires like Elon and all these other guys, like all they're doing is providing for others through themselves and increasing the vibration of the world and everything around them.
Right. And the reason Elon Musk is the richest guy on the planet is because he doesn't give a fuck about the money.
Exactly.
He doesn't. He sold all of his shit because it's like, well, right, if I sell all my shit, then you can't take anything. Now you can't threaten me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's and put in every last dollar when Tesla and SpaceX were going broke. He split his money in half. He's like, okay, all in. And because he's continually perpetuating value, and it's not about the money, is the reason that, oh boy, these days got $500-600 billion.
Yeah. Which is insane. I think anybody watching, I think that's probably like one of the biggest keys to take away is like, how can you create impact through yourself and others to continue to grow more, like as we started with the higher vibration and frequency? Because it's like through business, and I think you taught me this too, is like through business and like spirituality, but make it simple, make it so simple, because when you're starting off with like the woo woo or all the spiritual stuff, it's almost like losing people now, versus like if you're a spiritual master and somebody who's mastered these spiritual concepts, you can flip it into simplicity and serve it up on a plate and nobody knows that it is spirituality. And I think that's like the best medicine for the world right now too.
Yeah, and when it comes to a lot of the spiritual talk, a lot of times the spiritual talk can either intimidate, confuse, or annoy people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I notice this a lot in being a Christian, and in being a Christian, like there'd be some people that would be just like all the time just talking about Jesus, and it's like the purpose is not to to like talk about it all the time. The purpose is just to be it.
Mhm.
You know, I use my dad as an example. Is like he, you know, if you really have a heart to heart with him and in about like where he like finds his strength in really tough times, he'll tell you like, you know, he believes in Jesus, or like he gives it up to Jesus or just trusts in God. And but in his day to day, he's not like, he doesn't bring up Jesus, you know, every moment of the day. He just lives it, and that's what Christianity is. It's the way, right? It is really literally what it is literally what it stands for. And so you know, and so like I think that everyone has their own spiritual path that they're on, and as opposed to like talking about it all of the time or signaling it all of the time or pushing it on someone all of the time, I tend to want to live it and make it available for those that are curious to find it. And then when they inquire, you know, you throw some crumbs out every now and then.
Yeah.
But when they're ready, like they'll inquire, because that's what it is. It's a path that is taken through curiosity.
I say curiosity and embodiment. Embodiment, like through all that you said, like if you embody it, you know it, and you've integrated it, and you're sharing it. Versus if you're talking about it, you might have just learned it. Right. I think that's like the overarching, and that's what even in like watching you and hanging out with you, I was like, man, Spencer's probably one of the most spiritual people I know, but he does it through simplicity in business. And then I was like, man, I got to learn from that and start applying it. And it's amazing. Like you said, I don't create confusion anymore. And, you know, I bleed it in different stuff. And if people ask, I'll tell them. But also I'm not leading with like, all right, you know, here's an Akashic record exercise and all this other stuff. I'm like, that scares the shit out of them versus like, you know, you want to draw like 3 triangles and, you know, talk about these different points. And they're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And they're blown away with it. But if I sometimes tell them what it is, they'd be like, oh, no, I can't do that.
Yeah. And you know, when, and this annoys me, is like, well, I'll be sitting there talking to somebody and they're like, you know, in the middle of talking, like, it's 11:11. Okay. So like, tell me what that means. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's 11:11. Oh, look, it's 11:11. Okay, so like on a logical standpoint, oh, so it's the same number 4 times in a row? Like, okay. So so instead of like talking about it's 11:11, why not just talk about the meaning of that as opposed to labeling it?
Yeah.
And for those that are I had a girlfriend that was like this, that was like, 11:11, 11:11. And because she was so spiritual. She was so spiritually advanced. Okay. When I go to my friend Jason's house, he's got 2 cats.
Yeah.
Okay. Cat comes up and I'm like, hey, little baby. I pet it. Okay. Now, if I were to be like, kitty, that's a kitty,
people would probably look at you weird and be like, no,
are you a
shit.
fucking toddler? Because that's what toddlers do. Oh my gosh, I recognize that this is a kitty. Oh, and so it's the same thing. Oh, 11:11, a kitty. No, that's for spiritual toddlers. So, and again, I don't make fun of a toddler for being like kitty. Let's just call it what it is, though. You're a toddler. So, like, let's just like stop acting like you're advanced. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Call it what it is, like all the way through, you know? And then don't bleed, don't put extra words to it or identify something that everybody else knows, right? Like, what is the meaning to 11:11 to you in this moment? And maybe it is a good sign that you're in alignment, but also like make a wish or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
perfect. We gotta wrap this one up. But I feel like there's going to be a part 2. We should probably talk about precise language on another one. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, be sure to stay tuned for part 2. And then Spencer, where can people find you online?
SpencerBurnett.com. On Instagram, Spencer Burnett.